Welcome back to the Tool Crib. Today I want to introduce you to, if you haven't seen them already, these are the Nutsetters from Makita. These are the Impact Gold Nutsetters. And these are probably the best impact drivers or nut drivers that I've ever seen produced. These are fantastic. Now, inherently the problem with a regular nut driver is the fact that they're going to be magnetic. The problem is they work great when they're clean, but when they start to get a little bit of metallic debris, a little bit of shavings, then they become very cumbersome because they don't, the screw won't set correctly, and then they're a little tedious to clean out. Now there are designs that have tried to alleviate this. You got some that will push up to clear the magnet and you can clean it off, or like this DeWalt set that we just got, that I just purchased, is a reversible set. So this one comes in a quarter and 5/16, and then they have a 3/8 7/16 version wherein you can pull the socket off, clean the magnet, and flip it around to whatever size you need. These are kind of space savers, and these are really good design as well. But the nut driver set is probably, this nut setter set from Makita is probably the best version of a nut driver that I've ever used. Now, what makes these different is they're not going to incorporate a magnet. So what they have is they have a little snap ring that goes around here, and it uses a little detent in that ring there. It's a little rounded off. They round off the edge just slightly, and what will happen is that puts pressure against that screw and keeps that screw locked in for the most part. And so when you're driving with this thing, now normally with a regular standard one, it gets a little bit dirty. You're driving a screw into sheet metal, and you get a little bit off center or something, and that screw tends to it'll pop out on you, and it's just a terrible pain because just a little bit of metallic debris really changes how that screw will seat. Where this one, you don't have to worry about that, and because it has that tension of that ring against there, it hasn't completely eliminated the problem. The whole reason that I bought these is because we had like 700 of these Tech 5 screws that had to be drilled, and the screws we use are a little bit better than what you get at, say, your Home Depot or Lowe's. We get these from a special bolt supply, and they are actually quite a bit better. But we had to drive several hundred of these, and so I decided to try these out. And while it didn't completely eliminate the problem of when a nut driver gets dirty of that screw trying to pop out on you, it probably reduced it somewhere in the neighborhood of 75 to 80%. So it is a huge, huge difference. These nut driver sets, and by the way, the lower one, they say it also works for 8mm. The 5/16 are 8mm. They don't have them in metric that I'm aware of. And they also don't have a 1/4 inch version that I'm aware of either. But these are going to cover the major bases for most sheet metal screws. So 5/16, 8mm, the 3/8 it says for 9.6mm, I guess. I don't know if you guys have a 9.6mm head. That seems a little weird. And the 7/16 is only for 7/16. So overall, these are about 2 inches long. They're actually 1 7/8, but we'll just call them 2-inch drivers. These are pretty reasonably priced too. I think the lower one was $3.50. I think the 3/8 was $4, and then $4.50 for the 7/16. So considering how good they operate in comparison to your standard nut driver, I feel like they are well worth the price. And I've seen nut driver sets or impact driver sets that go for a lot more overall than that. Now, unfortunately, I haven't been able to find these in a kit, and I hope that Makita intends to make more sizes of these, because these just became the ones that we're using on the job site. These I'm going to use at home. I like the design of these DeWalts as well, but for the construction site, I'm definitely going to the Makita Nutsetters for sure. My name is Ben. You've been watching the Texas Tool Crib. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.